All right, YouTube, Repo Man 64. There, get rid of that square. I'm still here, but I mean the square around my face. So, 2 nights ago, I wake up. It's 4:44 in the morning. I look at the clock. I'm like, that's kind of cool. Go to the bathroom, come back. I can't go back to sleep because I have to wake up at 5:30 in the morning. So I just lay there and go through videos and Discord to see if anybody's come up with some interesting math. And all the stuff I do pretty much all the time is see if anybody has a clue as to when we're going home. We should be going home very soon. So this morning I wake up and the first thing I see is it's 4:44. And I'm like, okay, that's 2 days in a row. Internal clock? No, I've never woke up at 4:44 before and don't really know what that means. This video is more of a video for the people out there who are into a lot of math, for like example, Patrick and others. Um, so at that moment, when I woke up, I thought for some reason that I needed to know how many days exactly Jesus spent on earth from his conception to his ascension. So that's what I did. And the number that it came up with is very interesting. And I would welcome, of course, anyone to go in and see if they have any idea what it means, because I really don't know. I just did the math, and I'll show you that right now. Here we go. Let me do this real quick first. Where we're at right now, real quick. What's the date today? It is the 24th. Now, Chris over at Global Rapture Watchers had seen, just like this, when I woke up at 4:44, the thought occurred to me that I should try to figure out how many days exactly Jesus spent on earth. And a similar thing happened to him where two numbers popped in his head, the 18th and the 26th. And I'm going to show you what I think the 26th might mean uh, based on this. That's the one clue that I got out of this. I don't know if it means anything or not, but we are coming up on his date of the 26th in 2 days, or basically tomorrow evening in Israel. Everything we look for in Israel. So my next high watch day, of course, would be the 26th, but then it would come to second Passover here on April the 29th. And that's 153 days to when Jesus was born on September the 29th or 30th. Second Passover is what I would be looking at next. So let me go on here. April 26th. Now I showed you this last time. April 26th, Chris's number that came to him, just like this feeling that I had that I needed to know how many days Jesus was on planet from conception to ascension, is exactly 153 days to September the 25th. September the 25th is the Day of Atonement. On this timeline, it never changes. It doesn't move. It doesn't care about a full moon, a sliver of a moon, no moon. It doesn't use any of that. I can prove in the Bible that even the Bible doesn't use the moon. Every time they translated the word into moon, the word was chodesh, and that literally means new month, not new moon. So 153 days to atonement. Atonement is when many believe the tribulation will begin. This is 5 months away, and we have these passages that we never knew how to apply as being a group of people that will be getting stung. They'll seek death, but they can't find it. And that period of time will last 5 months long. Now, I know that God is going to turn his, and I've always tried to kind of figure out when the tribulation saints will show up in heaven. Pretty much every time we read these things, we see, like in Revelation, we see that we're gone, and then all of a sudden, the next thing, as he's talking about the six seals, and all of a sudden, he just like, who are these? Oh, these are those who came out of great tribulation. They had washed their robes white. They have palm branches. They do show up in heaven. I believe they're in the outer court. That is not counted. I think Patrick said that from. Uh, I'm going to do that thing again where I forget. That, hold on. Let me go find it because I'm not going to do that again. Let's see here. End Time Watchman. He's in the Discord, and he does a lot of math in there. So I'm hoping he'll take a look at this. So End Time Watchman Patrick, believe made the comment that the tribulation might start on atonement. So remember, we don't know if they have sacrificed this red heifer. This was shown Shabbat Parah as being on Friday the 29th at nightfall, becoming Saturday the 30th in March. Now, if this in fact happened, they are not telling anyone before the Antichrist is revealed. I know a lot of people go to Second Thessalonians. I've had this discussion many times. Second Thessalonians is not for the bride. This group of people is gathered. They will see the Antichrist. They will know who he is. He is a man. His number is 666. He is a man. He is the one that uh, is not Satan, but he is the Antichrist. He is the one that will come and bring peace to the world. And then um, after 3.5 years, he will, I guess he gets a slash in his face. I'm not sure how long it is, but then the Satan will indwell him and take over from there. And then Satan will go into the temple and proclaim himself to be God. So, did they do this on March 30th, which is the day Jesus went to the cross? Did they do this at 3 o'clock in the afternoon? They have not told us yet. I don't believe we can know. Like I said, Second Thessalonians is to the tribulation saints. First Thessalonians says caught up. Second Thessalonians says gathered. They are gathered. They're not raptured out of imminent danger. They are simply gathered. They're already in danger. They're already under the wrath of God. All right. This was math that I was sending to Spinebreaker. I did it. I wound up. This is a picture I took 4 minutes after I woke up, just to show you that I in fact did wake up. I want you to remember this. There's this passage in the Bible where I forget who it was. Gabriel? It might have been Gabriel or Michael. I don't recall which. Was held up for 21 days by the Prince of Persia. Prince of Persia in the Bible is a demonic power in Satan's army that is over the region known today as Iran. God has an angel army, and so does Satan. These armies are at war in heavenly places over Israel's land and surrounding regions. There is a war going. This 21 days, there is a war going on in heaven. We simply don't know exactly where to place those 21 days, but we know at the end of the 21 days, I believe it's Michael or Gabriel will show up at the 21 days later. I asked the question, we always think 666 is a bad number, and it is because the Antichrist will come in the number 666. However, 666 does mean it's the number of a man. This is telling us that this person's coming is not going to be a spirit, it's going to be a man. I think this man, this Antichrist, will be about 33 years old, or they will be about the age of Jesus when he did he was about 30 years old. He did his 40-day fast, tempted by the devil. And at the end of that 40 days, it was actually 5 days before his birthday on September the 30th. So by September the 25th, it ended on the Day of Atonement. I can actually show that to you. easier than explaining it. Right here, where'd it go? Right here. 40 days. Jesus began becoming tempted, or he was baptized in 26 AD by John the Baptist. He gets up, and that's Elul 1, August 15. He gets up and goes out and is tempted by the devil. He is fasting for 40 days. He is very hungry at the end of it. At the very end of it, 40 days later, Yom Kippur, the Day of Atonement, Jesus has finished those 40 years. Of course, he's passed. It's God. So, but that is 5 days before his birth. Jesus is born here on Tabernacles. Tabernacles always falls on Tishri 15. It always falls on September the 30th. It's always 14 days after the previous head of the year, and Jesus was always crucified 14 days after the new head of the year. This is the old uh, time before God changed the calendar before they left in Exodus. All right, let me get back to where I was here. Was I here? Yes. All right. Now, Nisan 17, the day Jesus rose. This is the day that God said on the seventh month and 17th day, which is changed now to the first month and 17th day, which is exactly 150 days after the flood began, or 153 days to when he rose. 153 days later, he rises. He does this on Nisan 17. He does this on April the 3rd. Yes, it's past. These dates have passed, but I think there is a delay that we're looking at right now. All right, I think yeah, this is the timeline that I built. Um, Anybody good with math can do this. From the moment Jesus was conceived on December the 25th, which is Tevet 10, 280 days, 40 weeks to the very day. Jesus didn't cut, yeah, I know some births are shorter, some are longer. No, Jesus did the exact time of 40 weeks to the day. He was born 40 days late, 40 weeks later. Jesus was born on the tabernacles at nightfall on September the 29th, becoming September the 30th. Tishri 15, that's when he was born. 40 weeks. That's 280 days. Jesus, from his birth on September 30th, was here 33 years and 182 days, 33 and a half years. From his birth to the cross on March 30th in 30 AD, it is exactly 12,192 days. From the cross to the day he ascended is 61 days. I know everybody's trying to assign 40 days. You have to, I went in, I worked on this very diligently last year with Equal Symphony, and we determined that Jesus rose on the third day. He went to heaven to perform the waste sheaf offering. 8 days later, he returned to Thomas in the upper room. This is the Feast of Weeks. This is the Feast of Unleavened Bread. The Feast of Unleavened Bread ended on that Sunday when Jesus appeared in the upper room where Thomas was able to touch him. 7 days later, Jesus appears on the shore. He has bread because it's a week of no bread. There's no bread. There's a week of unleavened bread, a week of no bread. There's no bread. You can find all this, I believe, in Leviticus, I want to say. And then, of course, the account of Jesus. And then you have him showing up on the shore. They pull in 153 fish. And if, of course, 7 plus 8 is 15, 153. I didn't see that before. But the week of no bread. So, and then you have this 3 days that her and I kind of worked on, but the numbers match. So we have this other 3 days that I don't know quite where to attribute it to. But then on April the 20th, which just passed 4 days ago, Jesus began his walk with man for 40 days with the apostles. He walked with them for 40 days. And then he ascended on May 31st, Sivan 15. So The 40 days you'll see here. Whoops, didn't mean to do that. The 40 days you'll see here, there's a passage in the Bible where a woman is unclean for 40 days after giving birth to a male child. And it breaks down into 7 days she has to perform a ceremony and then continues on for 33 more days. And after 40 days, she's clean. So I just put that on here. I'm just putting stuff on here to see if anybody notices something that catches their eye that would make sense of any of this. And I just woke up and it was like, figure out how many days Jesus was here. So I did it. I just did it. So April the 26th is 7 days after. Remember, you can't count the same day twice. So it's 7 days after April the 26th at nightfall, becoming April the 27th, IR 11. That is the date that Chris from Global Rapture Watcher saw. That's just how this worked out. And then the 33 days to Ascension Day on May 31st. Now, I added all that up down here at the bottom. Jesus was here for 33 and a half years, 33 years and 182 days. You can do the math yourself. It's 12,192 days. The gestation period of a baby, human baby, is 280 days, 40 weeks. He was in the womb. When did Jesus come here? He didn't come here when he was born. He came here when he entered into Mary's womb for 40 weeks, exactly, 280 days. And then 61 days after he goes to the cross, 61 days exactly after that, and we're using the same day twice, it might be 60, but it adds up to 12,533 days. Minus those 21 days, because we don't know where he was. We don't know where Jesus was for those 21 days. We know 3 days he was in the grave. We know he did the wave sheaf offering in heaven, and he appeared to Thomas in the upper room. We know that um, he suddenly appears on the shore with bread and fish. And then we know that the 40 days ends on Ascension Day, which a lot of other stuff on the timeline you can see ends 40 days later. So we have this 21-day period. So I removed the 21 days, and this is what I find. And I don't know what it means, but that's what I find. Removing the 21 days that Jesus spent in heaven, and then began his walk with mankind or with the apostles for 40 days. Those 21 days would be 12,512 or 12,512. I don't know what it means. I have no idea what that means. I, I see 12 and then I see grace and then I see 12 again. I don't know, but the numbers do make sense when you put them all like people that do numbers. I'm not the guy that does not, I just do timelines. There's a timeline. So, real quick video. I wanted to bring that. I don't know upon waking why it was like, you need to figure out how many days Jesus was here. This might be helping somebody else who does math. I don't know. So it's in there. Go to a quiet place by yourself. Nobody needs to know, and you don't need to tell anybody except the Lord in your heart. I'm going to post that little timeline I just built in Discord. If you go into Discord, I'll put a link to Discord if you want to come in and take a look at it. Maybe you know something. Maybe that was like, that's what I've been searching for. I don't know. But that's the exact amount of time Jesus did spend here um, doing a count. I just got two calendars. I've been working on it. I did this years ago, but I decided let me get a calendar. Now I have a lot more information in my mind about why certain, 365 and a quarter days, how do I make that fit? I know exactly where it fits now. And I've been building and I've been in the house working on that all night for a couple hours now, putting all the dates in there. So like, comment, share, and subscribe. And who knows? Maybe we're out of here any second. Maybe we're out of here tomorrow at nightfall in Israel. I don't know. Um, I don't know. Every single date, every single one of us finds so far is has been wrong. I personally feel like The next high watch day is just, it's not, it's a high watch day. I'm not saying the rapture is going to happen, but it gives hope and encouragement, and it causes people to go into their Bible and study and try to figure out these numbers. People who are inclined to do that type of math, and then others hear it. I'd love to see a video say, "Hey, this just blew me away. It made all this sense." It makes no sense to me at this point, but I thought I'd put it out there because that's what I thought of when I woke up. I think it's probably more irresponsible. Yeah, it's irresponsible to say tomorrow is not going to be the rapture. I guarantee that tomorrow or the next day or on this day, the rapture is not going to occur. I think that's irresponsible because, and then in the same breath say, you can't know when it's going to happen. Well, you obviously know when it's not going to happen. So, I mean, you can't really say that. I think we just put out high watch days for all of us to get back into the Word, to keep studying, to keep trying to figure this out together. And that's the point of each high watch day. It's not, look, we're going to get um, Amos 3:7 is going to be fulfilled. We're going to get something huge is going to just smack us right inside the head. I was talking with somebody today that knows somebody that's ultra religious, walks in a certain way, ties a certain way, does all these things. And I said to this person, I said, do you believe in a rapture? She said, no, I don't. I said, okay. I said, this person over here, ultra religious, doesn't believe in a rapture either. I said, and I've told that person that it's coming very soon, and they shrug it off. Nobody can know. And so I asked her, I said, I'm not saying you're going to be left here, but who do you think would be the first person to their knees when the rapture finally does occur? Would it be you who just heard me say it's as simple as kneeling down and accepting everything that right now you don't accept it. You don't accept any of it because the Bible's a fairy tale. Jesus is just some guy. None of it's real. I said, you don't accept any of it. The religious guy appears to accept it. Which one of you two will drop straight to their knees if you see a rapture occur? She's like, probably me. Because if I see that, I'm going to know exactly what you were talking about. I said, correct. The religious person will be the one screaming up, shaking their fists at heaven, going, Lord, Lord, didn't I do this in your name? Didn't I do that in your name? That wasn't the rapture. There's no way. I'm still here. There's no way that was the rapture. Everybody, follow me. Let's get this mark. That was not the rapture. This is not the mark, but you need to get this mark. You see what I'm saying? So, ultra religious people are, and Jesus went up against them. I mean, they're the ones that killed him. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? They're the ones that put him on a cross. I mean, ultimately put himself on the cross for us. But you know what I'm saying? He did not like religious people. And think about that for a second. How upset he was always at the Pharisees. Who did he love the most? He loved the ones who just didn't know. They just didn't know. They had been polluted by the Pharisees for so long. They just didn't know. But now, just like this person, I said, who stands a better chance of being saved after the rapture occurs? She was like, me? Because if I see that, I know how simple it is. But until then, I don't buy any of it. I'm like, there's no chance you'll go home and pray and say, I don't know you, but I wish you would save me. Nope, because I don't believe in any of it. But until I see the rapture. So, okay. So you see what I'm saying? Be careful with legalism and religion, and you must walk this way. You must do that. I'm telling you, if you're saved, you will walk this way and you will do that. And it won't be to get yourself or keep your salvation. You'll understand. It's just what I want to do to please my Lord. I just don't want to do what I used to do. Um, that's the change. You look almost identical to the one that's actually doing it to keep their salvation or to become saved. I found Jesus. I'm going to do all this. I'm guaranteed because I do all this. Just like the rich man that came up to Jesus and Jesus said, sell it all. Jesus knew. Jesus knew what he was dealing with. So uh, it's so simple. Just go to a quiet place by yourself. Nobody needs to know. And you don't need to tell anybody. Accept the Lord into your heart. Take that cup and drink from it. Matthew 6, 5, and 6. It's written right there. It's that simple. That simple. So, all right. Let me get off here. Like, comment, share, and subscribe. And like I always say, hope I'm not here after tomorrow. But if I am, and something new like that comes to me, which is bizarre, I really don't understand it, but maybe somebody out there does. All right, we'll chat with you all again later.